This video is sponsored by Card Trader, a global marketplace where you can buy and sell TCG cards like the Pokemon trading card game. And you can also check out PTCGLstore.com, a great place for you to buy Pokemon TCG code cards. The links will be in the description below. Hey guys, in today's video, I'll be showcasing Mega Heracross EX from the Phantasmal Flames expansion set. Mega Heracross EX is a basic grass Pokemon with 280 HP. It has 2 retreat costs and it is weak to fire. It has 2 awesome attacks. The first one is Juggernaut Horn. For 2 grass energies, it deals 100 plus base damage. However, if this Pokemon was damaged by an attack during your opponent's last turn, this attack does that much more damage. So really, as long as you can survive a hit from your opponent's Pokemon, you can deal the same damage done to this Pokemon plus 100 more damage, making this attack quite powerful. And this is also the reason why I also have Hero's Cape as my A-Spec card in this build, so that we can give 100 more HP to our Mega Heracross to increase its survivability and potentially throwing big damage against our opponent's Pokemon. Mega Heracross EX second attack is quite powerful too for 3 grass energies. Mountain Ramming deals 170 damage, and you also get to discard the top 2 cards of your opponent's deck. And to amplify the disruptive capabilities of Mega Heracross' second attack, I've added a couple of Xerosic's Machinations in this build. This will force your opponent to discard cards from their hand until they only have 3 left. So with this and Mega Heracross' constant discarding of your opponent's cards, you may just be able to disrupt their overall setup or even deck them out completely. I'll be using a lot of grass type support as well, starting with Meganium. It has the Wild Growth ability, which basically makes all basic grass energy attached to all of your Pokemon provide 2 grass energies instead. This will make it a lot easier to energize our attacks. You can also use Force of Vitality Stadium to help fully evolve your Meganium in a single turn. Although you can't use this on your first turn, this will allow you to evolve your grass Pokemon into grass Pokemon even during the turn you play them. And you can even use Dawn to help you get the full evolution line for Meganium as well. This allows you to search your deck for a basic, a stage 1, and a stage 2 Pokemon and put those cards into your hand. I also have Teal Mask Ogerpon EX with the Teal Dance ability, where it lets you attach a basic grass energy from your hand to this Pokemon, and you also get to draw 1 card from your deck. This ability is great consistency engine, but you can also use Energy Switch to help energize Mega Heracross' attack. And especially if you have Meganium in play, Ogerpon EX can be a great attacker as well. With its energy multiplied, you can deal a lot of damage with Myriad Leaf Shower attack. As for the other cards worth noting, I have Wally's Compassion. This is a great way for healing all damage from one of our Mega Evolution Pokemon EX. However, if you use this, you have to put all energy attached to that Pokemon into your hand. And then I also have 1 copy of Battle Cage Stadium. This prevents all damage counters from being placed on bench Pokemon, both yours and your opponent's, by effects of attacks and abilities from the opponent's Pokemon. This is such a great stadium which finally counters super annoying cards like Munkidori, Dusknoir, or even Dragapult EX. However, just keep in mind, this only works to protect your bench Pokemon and not the active Pokemon. Overall, I'm pretty satisfied with what this build can do. Mega Heracross EX has some power to it, even some bulk, and it also has a mildly disruptive attack, which I think is pretty cool. But again, with a huge liability of losing 3 prizes when it is knocked out, it just makes me a little sad. But besides that, all I can say is that this full art Mega Heracross EX is my favorite card in this set. It just looks so awesome, and you can be sure that I'll be buying this in real life. What about you guys? What's your favorite card in the Phantasmal Flames set? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Anyways, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Mega Heracross EX. Before we get into the video, I have a small request. If you're liking the content I create, please leave a like to this video and please support this channel by subscribing if you haven't already. This is a small click for you, but for me, it means a lot. Thank you so much for all of your support. Alright, on to our first match. I'm gonna go ahead and start this one with Teal Mask Ogerpon in the active. I'll go ahead and set up both Chikorita along with Fessendipity, and I will be going first in this match. And my opponent's starting with Abra. I'm going to go ahead and use Teal Dance here to attach an energy, draw 1 card, but I think I'm just going to pass for now. I have no other way to draw into more cards next turn, so I'm probably just going to use Ultra Ball to get Cleffa. Hopefully it's not prized. But for now, my opponent's just setting up here. Ooh, okay, we're going against Alakazam. This is the one that wants to draw into a lot of cards. Let's see if we can win it. We got another Ultra Ball. I'm going to go ahead and discard these 2. Okay, we got Cleffa. We can retreat our Ogerpon, and I'm just going to draw into more cards for now. Ooh, we got Xerosic's Machinations. Okay, so with my opponent's Alakazam, it has an attack that puts damage counters on their opponent's active. multiplied by however many cards they have in their hand. So it's a very powerful attack. The price trade in this matchup is definitely against our favor, because my opponent can take 2 prizes or even 3 for knocking out Mega Heracross, while we only take 1 if we knock out their Alakazam. So we have to be very careful here, but hopefully we can disrupt their hand with Jurassic's Machinations. It will be a lot harder for them to recover those cards once we have them discard them. So right now they have 11 cards in their hand, and they're dealing 22 damage counters. That's a total of 220 damage to knock out our Cleffa. So, ooh, we got rare candy. Okay. Let's go ahead and use Flip the Script first. We got an energy. I can use rare candy to evolve into one of our Meganium. And with the Nest Ball, I'm just going to put Mega Heracross EX into play. I could even try and deck out my opponent. That way they can't draw into more cards. But for now, we're just going to use Jurassic's Machinations. And we're going to force our opponent to discard the cards from their hand until they only have 3 left. So this is going to be a very disruptive card against our opponent for sure. And then let's see if we can take a knockout here. Let's go ahead and use Teal Dance, attach an energy, draw 1 card. We got another energy. Look at that. Thanks to Meganium, it multiplies that to 4. So now we can use Myriad Leaf Shower, dealing 180 damage to knock out their Alakazam, but we're only taking 1 prize at this time. So again, the price trade again is against us. And it's gonna be an easy knockout for our opponent if they can build up their hand here. They have Tulips, so they can recover Psychic Energy along with Psychic Pokemon. And there's Alakazam. Each time they evolve, that will activate the ability to help them draw into more cards. And it's a pretty dangerous Pokemon, this Alakazam. But right now, all they can deal is 14 damage counters, or 140 damage. I'm gonna go ahead and use Lily's Determination for now. We got Bayleaf. And then we can put EXP Share, attach an energy. And I think I'm just going to attack. Let's go ahead and use Buddy Buddy Poffin. We don't have any more anyways. I'm just going to attack. That way I can preserve the energy for our Heracross. We only need 2 energies to knock out their Alakazam anyways. So we got another Buddy Buddy Poffin. So we got 2 prizes so far, but again, it's easy for our opponent to actually get a knockout here. And they even have Togekiss. So Togekiss is pretty dangerous actually. If they get a knockout, that will activate the ability. They will flip a coin. If it's heads, they can get 1 extra prize. So if they knock out Mega Heracross EX, they have that chance of just winning this game to get 4 prizes. But right now, they need 5 more prizes to go. They can possibly take a knockout against Ogerpon. And the Dunsparce is really effective in this build as well. Ooh, they have Crushing Hammer. They got Tails though. Thankfully, we reserved that 1 energy in our hands, so it's not gonna matter too much. And they're just gonna pass. Okay. Ooh, we got another Jurassic's Machinations, guys. So let's go ahead and force our opponent to discard their hand until they only have 3 left. They have 12 cards left in their deck. I don't know how much more they can recover is the question. But for now, I'm just going to retreat into my Mega Heracross EX. We have 2 energies. That's enough thanks to Meganium. We're just going to attack, knock out their Dunsparce, discard the top 2 cards of their deck, and we're going to go from there. With that much card left in their deck, I don't think they can build enough to actually get a knockout against our Mega Heracross EX, but we'll see. 200 HP, 280 HP is actually reachable. Let's just put it that way. They just need 14 cards in their hand. Runaway Draw, 11. Dude, they actually got 14 cards in their hand. That's insane. That's crazy. They actually got it. Powerful hand deals 280 or 28 damage counters. They're gonna flip a coin. They even got heads with Togekiss. That's insane. That's 4 prizes with 1 knockout. Unbelievable. Alakazam, man. But they have 1 card left in their deck. There's no way we can win this now unless we can deck them out. We can recover 1 energy. Let's see here. I can retreat to our Mega Heracross. Attach 1 energy. I just need like energy switch or something. Well, we have Arven. There it is. We have energy switch. Thankfully. Despite not being able to take all the prizes, you know what, guys? We're just gonna take a knockout and discard the last card from their deck. And that's gonna deck them out. We didn't get all our prizes, but we decked them out. And that's exactly what Mega Heracross is here, guys. We actually won that one. That was a close one. Good game. Moving on to our second match. This time, I'm gonna start with Psyduck in the active spot. And I will be going first in this matchup. And my opponent's gonna start with Badoo. All we can do right now, though, is just use Buddy Buddy Poffin, but all we have is a Chikorita, and I'm just going to end my turn for now. My opponent's going to set up Dreepy, so it looks like we are going against Dragapult EX. This is going to be a very difficult matchup, I know it. And they're even going to use Iono, and that actually drew us into a very bad hand. We know Cleffa is prized, so there's really no way for us to draw into more cards on our next turn. And not only that, they're also going to item lock us with Itchy Pollen, guys. Oh, man. Oh, thankfully we drew into Lily's Determination. Wow, okay. That's a huge draw there. We're going to use Lily's Determination. We got Ogerpon. Let's use Teal Dance, attach an energy, draw 1. But Shaman's not going to be very useful in this matchup. And I can't use Ultra Ball to get Meganium. We have Force of Vitality, but that's all we could do. So I think I'm just going to end my turn for now. Yeah, the item lock really got us there. And that Iono, but thankfully we got the Lily's Determination. We were able to evolve into our Bayleaf at least. But let's see what else we could do next turn. Slowly but surely, my opponent is just getting their Drag Cloaks, allowing them to use their Recon Directive ability, which allows them to look at the top 2 cards of their deck. They can draw 1 card and then put the other card on the bottom of their deck. So their consistency is pretty strong right now. They are able to attach an energy to one of their Drag Cloaks, and they're going to use Iono once again. But that's okay, we got Lily's Determination, thankfully. And they're going to item lock us once again, okay. Alright, we got another Ogerpon. So we have more ways to energize our Pokemon. We can even attack if we can, but we cannot use an item here. So we're just going to use Teal Dance, use Lily's Determination. And we got Meganium, thankfully, okay. But now we don't have an item to get our Psyduck out of the active. Okay, this is really bad, guys. The item lock is really holding us back. Man, Badoo is the strongest baby Pokemon in the whole game, guys. For just 30 HP, 0 energy attack, the item lock is just too powerful. But with that much time that they have, they can most definitely set up a Dragapult EX here with 3 Drag Cloaks now to help them draw. They just need a Fire Energy, Dragapult EX, and Badoo has 0 retreat cost, so they could just retreat it, start attacking, and then they can start spreading damage to our bench Pokemon. Battle Cage can actually help us here to prevent that damage counter, and we'll need this Psyduck to prevent them from using their Dusknoir lineup, which they have in this build. So let's see if we can win this battle. It's gonna be a very tough uphill or mountain-like struggle here, guys, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try. Just gonna end my turn with no energies to help us draw or to help this Psyduck get out of the active. We're just helpless. We're just passing every single turn. And that gives our opponent time to fully set up their board. So they have Hilda, they even got Dragapult EX, they have the Neo Upper Energy to energize one of their other Dragapult EX. So they basically have two attackers set up at this point. But while Psyduck is in play, they can't really use their Dusclops or Dusknoir to knock itself out to deal damage counters. So hopefully that should keep us alive. Psyduck is very powerful, especially against those type of combination. Okay, they're gonna pivot into Dracloak. They probably have an energy. And then we know they have Dragapult EX, but no, they're just gonna attack with Dracloak, dealing 70 to take out our Psyduck. Alright. Ooh, we got Lily's Determination. Man, Lily's Determination is just MVP, guys. At least we have Night Stretcher. We can use our item card to recover our Psyduck. We'll give it more HP with the tool card. We'll put Battle Cage into play so that we can prevent them from putting damage counters. And I think I'm going to get Pheasantipity EX. These are huge liabilities, but I think it's necessary. I'll get Mega Heracross EX, put Hero's Cape on it. So now we're at 380 HP. It's gonna be difficult for our opponent to knock it out, but still they can 2-hit knock it out with Dragapult EX. And we have 2 energy switch to actually fully power it up thanks to Meganium. And then we can use Lily's Determination to draw into more cards. And once again, I'm just going to keep using Teal Dance to keep energies in play. I'll reserve 1 for now, and I'm just going to use Mountain Ramming to deal 170 to knock out this Dracloak, and also milling 2 of the cards from the top of our opponent's deck. So they have 13 cards in their hand. We can use the Rossix Machinations to have them discard all of those, and then just continue to discard the top card of their deck. So hopefully that's going to help us out. The disruption hopefully gets us through this match. But I know they have Neo Upper Energy to fully power up their Dragapult EX. I know they have Dragapult EX in their hand. There's the Dragapult EX. Ready to attack. There's the Neo Upper Energy. If they hit for 200, if we counter attack, we're only dealing 200 damage though, or 300 damage. So it's actually not enough to knock out this Dragapult. Okay, they took out our Battle Cage. They will evolve into Dusknoir, so they can put 13 damage counters to one of our Pokemon. But thankfully, our Psyduck is alive. But they're gonna boss our Meganium. Wow, okay. That will take away our energy multiplier, so this is gonna be very bad. Here comes a Dusclops. And they're going to use Phantom Dive. That will knock out Meganium. But I think that's okay, because that will put us ahead in the damage. Because if we can attack with Heracross, 170 damage, we can 2-hit knock out this Dragapult EX. And then go from there. I'm going to go ahead and use Super Rod to recover Meganium's lineup. Use Flip the Script. And then I'm thinking of using Zerosic's Machinations here. But I'll need another energy. Without Meganium, we'll need that 3 energies. I'll just go ahead and use Zerosic's Machinations. Have my opponent discard their hand until they only have 3 left. Hopefully that holds them back a little bit. Alright, at least we have Wally's Compassion as well, so we can heal it up if we need to. I'm gonna use Artisan, get this Chikorita started. Use Teal Dance, draw 1 card. Teal Dance one more time. And we got Boss's Orders, alright. Well, I'm just going to use Mountain Ramming for now, deal 170. Have my opponent discard the top 2 cards of their deck. And I don't know. They still have 14 cards left in their deck, so it's going to be a while for us to deck them out. But hopefully it is affecting their setup. Okay, they're going to use Arven. They have TM Evolution and Super Rod. And Super Rod actually helps them put more cards in their deck, so... Okay. So they're going to recover Blood Moon Ursaluna EX, which is a great attacker for 0 energy, especially if we only have 1 prize remaining. They can attack for 0 energies. For now, my opponent's going to use Phantom Dive, once again dealing 200 damage to our active, and they continue to spread damage to our Pokemon. Our Psyduck is still alive though, so that's good. Let's go ahead and use Earthen Vessel. We have 1 card left, or 1 energy left. We still have 1 Zerosic's Machinations in the deck. But at 200... I could use Wally's Compassion, but I need Meganium. Or actually, yeah, let's go ahead and heal up our Mega Heracross. Put those energies back into our hand. We'll transfer 1 energy and then attach this. That way we can use our counter attack and be able to knock out this Dragapult EX. How about that, guys? Well, we got Bayleaf. That should keep our Meganium lineup alive. And we even got Counter Catcher. Okay. But, you know what? I think I'm just going to finish off this Dragapult EX, to be honest with you. Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. So now they don't have Neo Upper Energy. Although their other Dracloak have 1 energy already, so they could just attach 1. And they can still use Flip the Script to join 2 more cards, which is pretty annoying, but... I guess that's fine. I could... As long as we can draw into the Zerosic's Machinations and then continue to mill them, maybe we can win it. So we have our boss orders. We have Psyduck, so we should still be okay. They cannot use their Dusclops or their Dusknoir. Otherwise, they can... 200... Oh, they replaced our Stadium. No! So the Jamming Tower actually disabled the Braviary Charm tool card, which reduced the HP of our Psyduck, knocking it out with enough damage counters, and that will actually allow them to now use Dusknoir and Dusclops, and they can give up a prize here, putting 13 damage counters to Heracross, and now they could just attack, and they could just knock us out, and they will get 3 prizes. Wow, that was an unbelievable combo. Wow, hats off to my opponent, man. That was a good game. On to our 3rd and final match. And look at this, guys. We're going to start with the full art Mega Heracross EX. It just looks so good. I think it's awesome. Anyways, we are going first in this matchup. I'm going to attach an energy. And I'm going to thin out my deck with Earthen Vessel. Get 2 more energies. And I do have Ultra Ball, but I don't feel like discarding any of my cards right now, so I think I'm just going to pass. I can use Arven. I can set up more on our next turn. For now though, my opponent's starting with Mega Kangaskhan EX in their active. It has a very powerful ability, allowing them to draw 2 cards while it's in the active. They have Monkey Dory, and they have Lively Stadium, which adds 30 more HP to all basic Pokemon in play, which actually benefits our Heracross too. They have Bravery Charm to add more HP. So now their Mega Kangaskhan is at 380 HP. That's going to be very hard for us to knock out, actually. And they're going to use Precious Trolley. And what's this? They have a bunch of Bouffalont. So this is the one with the ability, as long as there's another Bouffalont in play, it reduces any damage received by their basic colorless Pokemon by 60 damage. So we actually have to deal 420 for a one-hit knockout against Kangaskhan. So they're just gonna TM energize their Kangaskhan with 2 energies. Let's go ahead and use our Arven. Get Buddy Buddy Poffin and Hero's Cape. And then I'm gonna set up Chikorita. I'll set up 2 just in case my opponent targets 1. We'll have a backup. And then with our Forest of Vitality, we can actually fully evolve into one of our Meganium, and that should be able to help us fully energize Mega Heracross. So we can take a knockout against their Monkey Dory, also milling 2 of the cards from the top of our opponent's deck. So not too bad. But by removing Lively Stadium, that puts us at 280 HP. I should have actually attached Hero's Cape, now that I think about it. So if my opponent attacks here, they'll deal 200 damage, but depending on their coin flip, if they flip 2 coins successfully, they can knock out our Mega Heracross EX, which is pretty scary actually. Ooh, but they're gonna boss my Meganium instead, so they don't really need to flip coins successfully here, but they do anyways. They're gonna do 300 damage to knock out our Meganium, and they're gonna get 1 prize, but that's okay. We have 1 more energy in our hand here to energize Heracross, and I can attach Hero's Cape now. I'll put Battle Cage into play, and then I'm just gonna use Mountain Ramming. We're only dealing 110 damage because of their Bouffalont. Pretty insane. Really hard to kill this Kangaskhan EX. But thanks to the Battle Cage, that should prevent their Monkey Dory from transferring any damage counters to our Pokemon. But with just Ultra Ball in our hand, this is looking pretty bad. And what's this? My opponent's gonna use Jumbo Ice Cream to heal 80 HP on their Kangaskhan. That's crazy. It's so hard to knock this guy out. I actually wanted to include that ice cream in this build too, guys, but I just couldn't fit it in. So my opponent's gonna attack here. They got 2 heads. They're dealing 300 damage to our Heracross. Ooh, we got Lily's Determination. Wow, what a lifesaver. Okay, we got Night Stretcher. We can't set up any other Pokemon though, but that's fine for now. We can get Meganium. And worst comes to worst, we can attack with it. So I'll just attach EXP Share for now. Attach an energy. And you know what, guys? We're gonna use Juggernaut Horn here, dealing 340 damage to knock out their Kangaskhan EX. Despite having their Bouffalons to reduce damage, we were actually dealing 400 damage, but it was enough to knock out their Kangaskhan. As long as you can survive an attack with Heracross, its counterattack is actually really, really powerful. So 300 damage plus 100, 400 damage minus 60, but it was enough to get us 3 prizes. But here it is. My opponent just used TM Energize, energizing another Kangaskhan. So we survived another turn. Let's go ahead and use Arven. And we need to set up our other Pokemon here. I'll just get Buddy Buddy Poffin and Bravery Charm. And what I'm going to do is just play it safe. I'm not going to put this Heracross in harm's way, so what I'm gonna do is just retreat it. And then I could just draw into more cards. We'll lose one prize if my opponent knocks out Cleffa, but I think we should be okay. They need more, 5 more prizes to win this game anyways, and with Ultra Ball, I'll just get Ogerpon. Worst comes to worst, I could just charge up Ogerpon. Maybe we can even one-hit knockout Mega Kangaskhan EX. And as long as Battle Cage is in play, that should prevent their Monkey Dory, again, to transfer damage counters from their Pokemon. But what's this? My opponent's gonna use Energy Switch, but they're gonna lose an energy from Kangaskhan. Oh, they're just going to concede. Oh man, that was a good match. I'm gonna take it. Good game. And that's it for the video. Thank you all so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and until next time, please stay safe and have a great day.